Hello everybody, this is Kostas Tsakas and this is our 10th tutorial in Photoshop. In this tutorial we're going to learn how to finalize our selections in Photoshop. And in order to do that, we're just going to make a selection first. Now, I'm going to make a rough selection around this table because if it was perfect, it wouldn't need any editing. So it's just going to be kind of rough. Let's make this selection. And one way to edit it is basically to turn on the mask mode. And turning on the mask mode creates this red layer around it. As you can see, it creates this red layer, and whenever you want to add to that selection, you just select the brush and you have to select the black color. Then you set the size. The hardness has to be 100% and the opacity has to be 100%. And I don't like it that you actually hear those stuff without knowing about them. But I just wanted to show you how to expand the selections and change them. So I'm just setting the size of my brush, and now you see if I paint with black color, it's gonna look red, and it's actually gonna remove some of my selection basically. Yep, and I remove some of the selection. Now, what happens if I use the eraser? Well, if I use the eraser, it's just the opposite. You remove some parts of that selection, and well, that's basically how you can use the mask mode in order to add or remove from your selection. If I were to just go here with the eraser, I would just add part of the selection over here. So now if I get off the mask mode, you can see that the parts that were not red are now highlighted as selections. Now there are some options over here. You can actually set the color of that surrounds the masked area. You can select the color that the selected areas are going to have. You can just, for example, you can make those red and make everything else not seem red. In this case, you would be removing with the eraser and adding with the brush tool, which seems like a little bit better. But you can just mess with the options over here. The default one is this one. And let's just turn it on, and as you can see, we can edit our selection just like that. Now the next way we're gonna see about editing the selections, I'm not a big fan of teaching you stuff that you don't know anything about, so it's gonna be a little bit harder. But if you just go on the Paths tab, let's just open it up. Let's just go to the Layers tab, and from Window you have to go to Paths, and that opens up the Paths tab. And so if you go at the side of the menu, you click on Make Work Path, and what that is going to do, you set the tolerance to 1 and you click OK. What that is going to do is it's going to make a path, and a path basically is a set of anchor points where you can edit those points, and basically we're going to see paths later on. So I just used the direct selection tool, and you can drag those points to wherever you want in order to change your selection. And I'm going to drag them closer to the table just to make the selection a little bit better. So as you can see, I can get real close and I can fix all of the errors that I had. Now if the points are not enough for you, you can just go over here and select the Add Anchor Point tool, and if you click somewhere, it adds another anchor point. Now if you click Delete Anchor Point, you can do the exact opposite. I'm not going to talk about that anymore though, because you don't know anything about paths. I just wanted to show you how you can move those points in order to change the selection. Now to go back to being a selection, you just click the menu and you say Make Selection, and that's going to change the path that we have right now to a selection. And just click OK to whatever the defaults are. So you get your selection, and that's a better selection. And the final way I'm going to show you of changing a selection is, let's just first make an elliptical selection that's just surrounding over here. Now if I go on the Select menu and I say Transform Selection, what I can do now is basically transform the selection to the size that I want. And you usually want to do that when you have the right shape, it's just not in the correct position. You don't want to do that when you have a weird selection. So we're getting close, I think, yeah. And you can even rotate it a little bit if it doesn't fit. And I think that's really close to the table. Yeah, and as you can see, I could now select the table, and if I just click tick, and that's okay, and I just selected the table. So those were the three ways I wanted to show you of finalizing your selections. The first one was the mask mode. The second one was creating a path from this menu, make work path, and the third one was by actually using the free transform selection from the selection menu in order to change the shape of the selection. So that was it for today. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial, and see you next time.